and welcome everyone to our Sacred Ground Collective Vision Circle. And I'm going to turn the time right over to Sharon Alexander. But I'm so glad to see you all here. Sharon, you're on.
Okay, hello. Yes, so good to see all your beautiful faces. And thank you for being here. So in preparation for today, was just thinking about the time of year. And it's such a wonderful time to turn inward. We were just talking a few minutes before everyone showed up about the value in cultivating our inner teams, inner wisdom. This certainly what's going on around the world. And I remember my mother passed on November 3rd, 2 years ago. And it was right around now that she and I started to suggest that she listen inward, or listen to her dreams, or talk to those who have passed before her and see if she got any messages. And I think she really understood, or really got that it's a time of year traditionally where people say the veils are thinner. And so really, what does that mean? And it had me thinking about our bodies. And of course, I'm thinking about aging and death. I just before we met today was reading a book by David Chernikoff, and a chapter about these aren't his words, but mindful dying. And so not to bring too much of that in, but it beckons the question for me: what is the body? Is it a vehicle for spirit? Is it an intelligent field of consciousness? Is it a vessel that holds our star energy, the energy from our star homes? And I was kind of curious what you all thought, if you've given this much thought, and also wondering what the ancestors have to say. So that's what led me to today's topic. And I'll open it up just to a brief comment on that after we set space. And then I'd like to just guide you through the body and turn you loose to communicate with, or travel with, or be guided or inspired by the spirit world. How does that sound for today? That good? All right, thank you. And so let's take a moment and set space, and then open it up, and we'll move forward. So again, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. Please set yourself into a comfortable place, a comfortable position. And we gather on the sacred ground of sovereignty with the loving, firm support of Mother Earth, Gaia, with the strength of Sophia, with the wisdom of grace surrounding us, holding us together as women. And we are protected by that sixfold cocoon. All of this beneficial, all of this loving and positive energy protecting, surrounding, and protecting us, as does the guardian circle and the hitchhiker shield. So I invite you to sense into these energies, sense into this time, sense into your body. Unite body, mind, and spirit with your breath. Just notice your breath. Let it flow naturally. And take a moment to call on your teams. Take a moment to fully arrive, and invite your spiritual teams to join you in this space, on this sacred ground of sovereignty, and enfolded by beneficial, positive energies that have your highest good at heart. And consider if there are others, how many others there are that you would like to bring into the circle. Consider the situations, personal, community, global situations you'd like to bring in for blessing. And a quality that you would like to contribute or add or call forth into the circle as we gather and spend time together. Consider those things. And when you're ready, come back to the group, and we'll open by sharing the number of people you're bringing in, the situations or conditions you're bringing in, and the quality. And anyone can go first. Lynn, it looks like you are, and Deborah Mangus are both unmuted. Would either of you like to start?
Go ahead, Deborah. Okay, I will, I guess. I guess I forgot to mute, so I have 23 people I want to bring into the circle. 2 special, my husband Tom, who's having surgery tomorrow, and a little girl, 8-year-old girl, who's just been rushed to the emergency room with pneumonia. So she's on my heart right at the moment. A text from a friend. I'm supposed to say where I am. I'm in Des Moines, Washington. And I want to bring in, also a couple world situations. Actually, numerous world situations, and I'm going to pass for a moment on my word. It hasn't come to me yet. So I'll call on Sue.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm Sue. I'm at Lake Goodwin, Washington. Beautiful day. My word is surrender. I'm bringing in 27 people. And the very low consciousness of power over. And I will call on Angelique.
Thank you, Sue. Hello, everyone from Europe, from the Netherlands. Good to see you, beautiful faces. I love to be here tonight. Tonight for me, in the morning for you all, I guess. Well, my word is receptivity, and I bring in, all children of the world. I pray for all children of the world and all beautiful souls who really need healing and support emotionally, physically, spiritually, in all senses. So I also pray for the light. And there are too many souls to mention. And it's a day where all the leaves are falling. They begin really to fall, and it looks beautiful. So I love to be outside in this time of year. And that's it, I guess, for today. And I go to Sharon.
I guess that's me, Sharon. I'll take it up. I'm putting 36 individuals into the circle. I'm on Whidbey Island still, Washington, by the way. I want every agenda concept from outsider dominations of any form to be made extinct, putting that into the circle. And quality I want amplified as clarity. And I'll pass to Abby.
Thanks, Sharon. Abby Boykin in Anacortes, Washington. I'm bringing in 10 people and my male and female ancestors, and all global populations affected by domination and control. And I'd like to reiterate Sharon's statement of groups that are doing the dominating control, and with the goal of extinction for them. And the word I bring is remembrance. And I'll pass to Deborah Levine.
I'd like to bring in the souls of people who have passed, who have given me so much. I know they are still with me and inspire me. And that's the word that I bring today, inspire. I am Deborah Levine in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I also want to bring in people who do good works in the community, who feed the homeless and take care of them. I see them standing on corners these days more than they've done in quite some time, with signs on, handwritten on cardboard, and just wanting food. Those people who take care of them are so wonderful, and I think they inspire us all. And I'll bring in Marielle.
Marielle, close to Montreal. We had our first day of snow today, but it melted because the ground was still warm enough from a few days ago. So I'll bring the qualities integrity. I'll bring in all my ancestors and my cousin who has passed in October. And well, I don't want to make a mistake. I'll say the other Deborah.
Thank you, Marielle. I'm Deborah in Sanford, North Carolina. I'd like to bring in 37 people, 3 personal situations, 3 world situations, and all the volcanoes of the world. And my word is peace. And Sharon, I think it's back to you.
Sue, did you go? Okay. And Lynn, do you want to add a quality?
Yes, hope.
Hope. Okay, I hope I caught all this. Hope. Let me add this up for just a moment here. My math. 16. Oh, and I'll say that I am house sitting 2 dogs that bark. And so I apologize ahead of time if they bark, which as people walk by, children coming home from school, they may. Okay, where was I? 10, 16.
And that's the biggest dinner plate dahlia I've ever seen in my life behind you.
The bees love it. I have 136 people, in addition to ancestors, souls of those who have passed, all the children, all those who need healing, those doing good works for the others who are suffering. Yes, and the situations include the low consciousness of power over, the agendas and concepts from outsiders to be made extinct, the global population experiencing or exerting domination to be addressed, and that seems like too few situations, but that's all I have written down. Did I miss situations? If there's something important, please add it.
Remembrance from me.
And then the qualities I'll come to now. So I think maybe I have the situations and the qualities. I have remembrance in those who have inspired or inspiration, clarity, receptivity, surrender, integrity, peace, hope, and connection. I will add. So I'm Sharon Alexander in Colorado, and I'm bringing 6 people in. I'll bring the quality of connection, and that would be connection inward, outward, all the way around, that we understand that we are not alone, that we are not, that we don't have to be a strong individual, that we really can ask for and offer and experience connection in the world. And I think that's it. So let's open it up. Well, so let me offer a little background. This week really is what some refer to as the time of Samhain. For many years, I called it Samhain. I don't know how you all say it, spelled Samhain. Really coming out of the Celtic tradition, and really, I think what the Romans built upon in creating these holidays like Halloween, or All Souls Day, or Day of the Dead in the Latin communities. And it's really way back when, well, first of all, this Samhain time represents or marks the time between summer and winter. We're really about halfway between those 2 equinoxes, I believe. And people were afraid to go out at night because at this time they thought that there were goblins and evil spirits, and literally the veils between those who are still living and those who had passed was thin, and there could be evil or bad experiences. And so they would dress up in costumes. They would dress up as ghosts or as goblins to protect themselves if they did have to go out. And it's really this period of time from around October 30th into the early few days of November. And this, what was first a Celtic festival or Celtic practice or tradition, was rebranded, if you will, by the Romans or by the Christians as All Saints' Day, which takes place on November 1st, and All Hallows' Eve, following the night before that on October 31st. So marking the end of the summer and the harvest season, where we bring the food in to sustain us through the winter, marking the beginning of the dark, cold winter months. And Marielle, I heard you said you received your first snow, as did we, quite a bit. Where I'm staying, 6 inches at least, and it's still solid snow out there, and that was just a few days ago. So this holiday also falls opposite on the calendar from Beltane, the spring fires, which was also rebranded as May Day, 1st of May. And so it's a powerful time, a powerful night in particular, these nights of this week, powerful time for divination, for spell casting. if you are into those kinds of things. And that's why I suggested that we bring a candle. If you have a candle with you, in a moment, I'll invite you to light that. And in honor of those who have passed, your ancestors and others. So, but first, I'd love to hear from you, how you are, and how, if you have any traditions or practices or knowledge or experience with this sort of historic festival or holiday, opportunity to dress up or to maybe dress as a character you might wish you could embody at some point. And then also, if consider how your own body could serve as a costume. Might it serve as a costume for your soul or for spirit or for that stardust? What are your thoughts on all of this? I'd love to hear that. Anyone can speak, and feel free to unmute yourself when you're, if you would like to.
I'm going to speak about body, physical vehicle. What is that all about in relationship to the field of our star essence? Because in the last, I would say 3 months or so, it's become very clear in the healing work that there has been an a meshing of energy fields between our physical body and our soul self that needed to be addressed, some more than others. And so instead of having two strong fields, my soul essence from the stars, separate field, totally intelligent, possible, and the vehicle designed by the star families for us to move around on the planet, and redoing that as totally in field of intelligence with a captain in charge, if you will, and good communications back and forth. And what I was shown is how the bodysuit, we have had to store the pain, the trauma so much over the generations, that the body is where we stored most of it, and that vibrational impact on the soul become an enmeshed field. So for me, the body vehicle, claiming it as its own, like totally car, beautiful, keeping it up, communicating with the intelligence field of it from my star essence, is kind of a practice I've been in the last 3 months for myself and my clients. So that's how I see it. And I'm not doing costume. I mean, I thought about that.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I was looking at my notes, and I think even last week, I remember Sue said something about, in your sharing toward the end, bodysuits allow us to speak up about issues on the planet. Those who have passed have to wait for us in the bodysuit to speak for them. Do you remember saying something like that, Sue? And
I can hear.
Lynn?
I don't think it was me that said that. Was that you, Sharon?
Might have been me, because the ones who have the authority to make changes for the planet are those in bodysuits. So in a bodysuit, you can give permission for yourself, but you can also ask for others. But in the bodysuit, that's a unique position in making changes and declaring. So energy doesn't self-correct. Bodysuit has that unique ability to rewrite stories. One of the reasons is so we can also not only get rid of outsiders, but also rewrite the trauma energy into stories that we now reflect our home. Thank you.
I was just
Lynn, and then Deborah Levine. Excuse me. Go ahead, Lynn, and then Deborah.
I was just reflecting on when you were talking about Sawane. I don't know how to pronounce it either, Samhain or whatever. And my time in Ireland, when we did a pilgrimage in Ireland, and that's when the first time that in my couple of weeks there, that I really felt the thin places, and the veil being very, very thin, and it caught me by surprise. And my husband will still talk about it when he's talking to people about how Lynn, just like, I would almost lose her. I mean, because I would step into these places, and so, I mean, I think there's a lot to say about sacred places too. Not that it can't happen here, but when I was on Irish soil, and we were visiting mainly like holy wells and holy ruins and such, there were so many instances for me of stepping into that place and hearing, getting knowings, I guess. I don't usually hear, but just, like asking almost like a prayer about something I was struggling with, and just knowing immediately in those spaces. So I think that's when I most experienced it. And I really believe this time of year does give us an opportunity to stop and reflect on that. So thank you for reminding me, because I think I forget about it, because we don't talk about it that much in our culture, about those thin places and the veil between the two worlds. And as far as my body, I try to love my body, even though it sometimes betrays me. But I'm, always grateful when I'm walking and or whatever, and just saying, thank you, body, that I can walk, I can do this and that. And the saying for me is always the one that works for me, is that, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And that just keeps me grounded in the fact that I'm spirit, I'm star child, whatever, in a body that helps me to bring that light and spirit on Mother Earth. So I try to honor both.
Beautiful. Thank you. Deborah Levine, did you want to comment?
Well, I am driven at this time this year to bring the spirits of the past to me as best I can. And so I am now wearing a ring that was my grandmother's, and it must be a century old. I thought I had lost it, and suddenly we found it. And then, but I refused to wear it. I was afraid that I would do something to it, or I would lose it. Somehow, I'm responsible in this body to make sure that that spirit is okay. And then my daughter talked to me and said to me, get over yourself, Mom. Take it to a jeweler's, make sure everything will stay in it, all the diamonds, and wear it. Why would you just keep it hidden away in a box? So today I did. And here I am. And my grandmother's soul, I can feel it running through me. And she was an incredibly strong woman, born in the late 1890s, but still had a high school degree. And at one point during the Depression, she supported the family. And I feel her energy and that of my grandfather, who had only an 8th grade education, but was one of the founding 400 in Bermuda, where we grew up. and founded the first little mini shopping mall because he was an entrepreneur. And he was, what do you call it, when they have the sales of things? Gosh, it'll come to me. And he bought in one of those sales things a a group of mother of pearl poker chips, because I love to play poker and they taught me how. And as I'm talking to you, I'm looking down at my keyboard and realized what I had taped to it to give me a sense of that incredible innovation. And I will hold up for you a mother of pearl poker chip. It's 100, right? I'm sure it's more than a century old. And I feel my grandfather, incredible energy running through me. And I hold it in my hand always and hope that I can do him proud. Thank you. I'm done.
Beautiful story. Thank you.
I'll talk briefly about the body, which I think is a marvelous topic in of itself. And it seems from some prior relatives, I remember a grandmother on my mother's side, that no attention was really paid to the body except when it needed to be fixed. And there was no sense of a connection to the whole person. So probably wasn't until I'd say clear into my 40s that I really started to get curious about it and understand it and really pay attention to how it fed me and how it challenged me at the same time. And now I'm spending so much more time seeing it as my vehicle for experiencing life as a soul. And very attuned to kind of subtle cues and using my curiosity to explore that. I don't know my incarnations before or what will happen after. I don't know any of that, but it just seems like such a really short time we have to soak in everything that the body can offer. So I think having a holiday just to celebrate the body would be a good idea. It's my share for now. Thank you.
Angelique?
Yeah. Oh, I can really celebrate that too, Abby. As I speak about the body, my body is where my soul lives, and together with my light body, I cannot separate it, although I just for a couple of years I understood my body because I was never in it when I was young. I was always somewhere at the ceiling and experiencing things from above and didn't feel it. So later when I got divorced, I started to really feel my body because there was so much trauma and so much healing work to do. And I began really to see it as challenges to grow and to embrace and to learn that your body is something which you really, really honor. And giving thanks to that we have this boundary. Otherwise, we should only be souls. And it's such a blessing to be in a robe, in a physical body, in a robe. And I really started to love that. And today I visited my holistic therapist and did some new exercises for the body. And then I found out that I have been growing into the part where I really feel that I'm strongly connected to the Mother Earth. And that's such a blessing. And I didn't have that before. I was always in the upper part and higher. So there was a lot to grow over there, but it was so difficult for me to come into my body. And I remember when I was so much younger, well, in the beginning of my 20s, that I was dreaming at night, and I went far, 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 far out of my body. And then I had to come back into my body, and I fell back like buff, and then crying that I made this hard landing. It was really tough for me to stay there and to be there because I didn't want to come into it anyway. But now I love to be in my body and also be connected with the spirit world at the same time. So it's such a different experience. And it's such a blessing. I really, really feel every sign of illness or hurt or as a remembrance, like, hey, you have this body not for nothing. It's just there to help you remember to take good care of everything and to be grateful for everything you have and for everything you experience as well, even when it's painful. And well, maybe also when it's painful. it's I consider my body as a blessing, and be grateful for it and be really careful for it. And when I remember that I wasn't careful at all, I was just, when I was young, just doing something. Oh yeah, I have to walk. Oh yeah, I have to run. And now I don't. I'm just considering it. Every step I take is a blessing on the Mother Earth. So yeah, that's what I feel. Love to share that. And in this time, I used to do lots of things for my children around the Halloween and around this dark period. But since I don't see my children anymore and my grandchildren, I just have the remembrance, and that's also a blessing. So yeah, thank you.
Can I say something?
I was muted. Yes, please speak.
So there's been many, many years where I enjoyed dressing up to be an aspect of myself. And I remember one time I painted my skin all green, and then I wore green, and I was Envy. And it was fun to just express a part of me that I really wasn't in touch with. And over the years, I have dressed up as something that I didn't. So I was a witch, and I've been alien and gypsy, and just expressing a part of me that I just don't do during the day. Going to work or shopping, just don't do that. So I find it very fun. And my Angelique really triggered a whole bunch of things that I was not in touch with my body. And I went to someone and she said, your health is in dire straits. I don't know why you're alive. You really should be dead, and you should be in extreme pain. And it makes no sense to me that you don't know that. And I said, well, no, I have no pain. And my intuition said I needed to go somewhere. I needed to go to the doctor, or I need to come to an iridologist or a fortune teller, and somebody would help me. And it occurred to me I really need to get in touch with my body more. And I have found is that when I address the emotional body, the physical body responds in a positive, healing way.
Mm.
And that has been a focus to get in touch with my emotions, be able to identify them, and then pay attention how my physical body responds. That's been very fascinating. And for my grandchildren, I bought all kinds of costumes and dress up clothes and things. And when they came over, they would dress up. And we would go to the park. We would go to the store. It didn't matter. They could wear whatever they felt like wearing. And I sent the little one, well, maybe 4, said, go get your jammies on. And she came out with a tiara and high heels and gloves and all kinds of jewelry and scarves. And she said, I'm ready. And we were all getting in our jammies to have a movie. And that's how she came dressed for a movie. And I love that, expressing different parts of ourselves so we can get to know who we are in this physical life. And my body is sacred today. It's a sacred spiritual place. And I need to take better care of it. I took everything for granted. As a kid, they say, you got the mumps, you're sick, you stay home from school, you get well, you go back to school. And that was my attitude about everything. You get chicken pox, you're sick, you stay in bed, you get fed soup, you get well, you go back to school. Same thing with work. That was my attitude. You get sick, you go to bed, you eat soup, you get well, you go back to work. And it never occurred to me until people were saying that they weren't getting well. It never occurred to me you could not get well. It never occurred to me the body couldn't heal itself. I just took it all for granted. The problem with at this age is I've heard every story. So everything is a possibility. And it's harder to hold on to the old belief. You just get sick and then you get well and you go back and do whatever you needed to do. So I'm trying to get back to that. Interesting journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Deborah and others, just speak when you feel the call.
I'd like to share that when we came to America from Bermuda, I got ill with everything possible. Mumps, chickenpox, measles, strep throat, scarlet fever. I did not think I was going to survive. I may be the only 10-year-old on the planet who wrote their will and testament, right? Because I did not think I would survive. And one of the things that I learned from psychiatrists over the years was that once the door to your mortality opens like that, it never closes. Once you know you're mortal and you may die, you cannot forget that. And it does change who you are. I think all of us know that now. And we are blessed with the bodies that we have, for we don't know how long. I didn't know how long when I was 10. But every day, even driving down the street in a car, I give thanks for the life that I've been given. And I think most of us do. I hope so. I wonder, do you? You do that too? Thank you.
I see Marielle's been unmuted. Would you like to speak?
Yep. I just
And then
want to
Lynn,
say
maybe? Okay, go. Yes, please.
it's been harvest time, so I've harvested my sage. And so today, when you ask us to light a candle, I also burned a little sage. Concerning the body, I have a friend who follows Saima, and he took a training to give healing with it comes from Mary Magdalena, and he practiced on me. What's his name? So what's strange is that he started with the first chakra going up, but I didn't feel it until he arrived. I think it was at the heart chakra. So I think maybe my upper chakras are more open, but I have no way to know that. I can't see it. And I asked him, and he says he thinks he's in cosmic consciousness. Anyway, he thinks he has a certain level of realization. He's been doing yogic flying for 50 years. So, but he doesn't, he says he's not allowed anyway to tell me anything, but he couldn't answer my question. But concerning my body, that's my conclusion, that maybe my upper chakras are more open. And when he finished, I knew at the minute, like I could say, you finished at 44. I felt it, but downstairs, I didn't. So that's what I have to say about the body and the spirit. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else would like to share? Robin, Deborah, anything? Yes, Robin.
So I don't feel privileged maybe or allowed because I came in late and I'm not sure what came before, but just but I will. What I've kind of collected from some of the things you said, some of you are in touch with generations that came before. So what I do want to share is I've been in a season for about a year and it combines body and spirit. So does that seem like I'm on task with what you're doing?
Absolutely.
So I went, say,
And
go ahead.
I'd like to guide us a little bit too. So
Please do.
So we're not finished yet. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, for sure. Anything you'd like to share. It's all in.
Okay. So I went to a thrift store and they had stuff back for Halloween costumes. And here was this beautiful leather dress for powwows. And that's not a costume, it's regalia. So it's really, I couldn't, I asked, could I please buy it? You know what? It was $10. I mean, for the deer hide, and it was old. So what happened was the universe has been giving me things to get back to my, I know I was tribal in another life, and I may have some of that for my grandmother. So I was given that dress so I can go to these powwows and be in my regalia. So what's happened recently is I just got this, and I'm learning the warrior women song in their language. Yaha, ye, he, yo, he, yo, the whole thing, and it's all women. And so it's spiritual, but I was thinking as she was talking about chakras, when you do the sacred song and drumming, it reverberates. It has a frequency. You can feel the vibration down in your gut, your lower chakra. And as you sing, it rises up through. And I'm just kind of wondering with the native people. And I've been, this universe keeps telling me, I am the white eagle. I am the white eagle. And here's this eagle. Can't be white on here, you wouldn't see it. But so all these things are coming together from the universe. And that's where I'm going to end. But I'm also learning the Samish. We have a little tribe here that was just recognized in 1979, the Samish tribe. We have many tribes here. So I'm getting in touch with the coastal Salish peoples. And I've been on an island for 8 generations and been embraced by a gal on Guimas, Rosie Caillou James, who is Salish. So I also have been given, I'm just now thinking, I've been given mentors and women mentors, like to learn how to make my own cedar bark hat and regalia from these people. And I'll end it there. I will say I've been given a couple of sacred relics that I found, and I just was absolute. Maybe I'll share sometime. I'd have to go get it. It's
Robin,
beautiful.
remind us where you are, please.
I'm in Anacortes, Washington, same as Evie, but just a 9-minute ferry ride is Guaymas, which my family's been on for 9 generations.
Wow.
And there are 3 or 4 old sites from Indian villages that live there. And we have one of the tallest trees, cedar trees, and they believe that their spirits go live up in the cedar trees when they leave. So it's a very sacred place for me. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Deborah Mangus, anything you'd like to add? No?
No, I'm not. I'm just enjoying listening to everybody else and don't feel the need to say anything right now. Thank you.
Understood. So thank you all for sharing very rich discussion, especially when we blend it all together. I love that. So thank you. And now I invite you, if you haven't already, to light a candle if you have one with you. Set it in a safe place, set yourself up. And Sharon, is it okay to, yeah, go ahead, Sharon, yes.
I wanted to say something here before we go into one of the major healings we've focused on, and what we've even into this circle today, we've brought our maternal and paternal ancestors into the circle. And one of the most ancient circles I ever went to was where the gifts of the female were divided out. So each ethnic group would have one of the gifts, and they were to keep it within their lineage, secured, almost innocuous, keep it protected so nobody else could get it, so it could be safe. So that an indication of the healing that's been done in releasing those old contracts, because of the Sophia voice, is what keeps us safe. You will begin to see, just like what Dr. Robin says, the coming together of the rainbow tribes, the differences, the being taught, instead of being cultural appropriation blamed. I'm going to teach you the drumming we've kept. You teach me the alchemy you kept. I will teach magic I have. You see, it's a time of sharing, so that all of the gifts, which are the magic gifts for women, will be brought back together, woman to woman to woman to woman, and out of that division, that cultural appropriation represented that we had to keep them safe by not letting you touch my gift. So thank you, Dr. Robin. That's the time we're in, and I really appreciate that.
I had no idea. Thank you. There's a book called The Daughters of Copper Woman that's very powerful, if anyone wants to find that. Well, I guess I was on task. The universe did that.
Beautiful. Thank you. So bringing yourself into a comfortable place. If you'd like to recline, feel free. And I'm encouraging you all to keep your screens on so we can stay connected, stay together. And if you are lighting a candle, or I love the sage idea as well, sage being cleansing, holy, beautiful. There is that an eagle feather, Dr. Robin? Yep, beautiful. So feathers, you could.
I was telling you I was collecting, so each, I mean, every weekly, these are the new feathers for this week. So this is maybe an owl and a hawk, and they drop them in my yard. Yeah, and sometimes they're just little, but they're sacred to me. So they're right here with my candle.
Beautiful. So yeah, if we create a little altar, just take a few minutes. And so we're not going to end on the hour, and I hope that's okay for everybody. You can stay with us, and if you need to leave, please do. Yeah, so take a moment, and if you have if you light a candle, or not, certainly you do not need to, but just imagine once you're settled and you're comfortable, if it feels safe to close your eyes, you may do that, or just turn them down and begin to imagine the light of the candle drawing energy, beneficial, benign, loving, supportive energy, inviting spirits home, the spirits of the ancestors. Okay, thank you, Sharon. I saw the message about 90 minutes. So the lighting the candle, and this could just be something that you imagine or that you physically do, and taking a moment to imagine that this light is a guide drawing benevolent spirits home or into your space or back to support you in whatever way they feel called to. Energies, positive and loving energies of all good, energies from the unseen world coming into your space, or you connecting with those energies through the light of the candle or the smoke, or in whatever way you might do that, as you settle back and rest. Knowing that you are safe and protected, held in the cocooning energies of sovereignty, lovingly supported in the sisterhood, which includes the Sophia energies, the grace energies, all those who have traveled these realms before you with the intention of being good, bringing good, broadcasting good across the galaxies, across the globe, settling into that space that is safe and protected and guided by the ancestors. And taking a moment, now I invite you to take a big breath in through your nose, and sigh it out through your mouth. And you could do that again. Everyone is muted, so you can be as audible, as verbal as you'd like to. Big breath in through the nose, cleansing breath out, releasing, letting go. And one more time, third breath in and out. Allowing your body to settle. And I invite you to draw your attention to the body for a moment, to the whole body. Many of you have talked about the body as vehicle for spirit, the body as a I guess a vehicle for experiencing the world through your senses. So notice, bring your attention to your whole body and allow your body to rest. Allow your body to rest now as you breathe naturally, and offer gratitude. Take a moment to offer gratitude to your physical body. And is there any tension that you could let go of now in the shoulders, the jaw, any facial muscles? Notice if scan your body, notice if there's any tension, and let it go. Try to release or relax or just settle more through your body. Imagine the loving energy of Mother Earth, that gravity of Mother Earth pulling you toward her. I often think of gravity as Mother Earth's hug. So allow yourself to surrender into the arms or imagine surrendering onto the surface of the earth, being held, being surrounded, being protected. And when we experience pain or trauma in the physical body, it's hard to imagine that it might provide us with joy and ease in this lifetime. Is it possible to imagine that now? Recognizing the body as a vehicle for spirit, a container, offering love, gratitude as you surrender down and surrender to gravity. And from this grounded, beautiful vehicle, allow your awareness to rise, to float, to travel upward or outward, to peak or to move forcefully through the veils that separate you in this physical body from other energies, from those of ancestors, those who have passed, those who have gone before us. Let yourself travel, perhaps meet or join up with, and delight in reconnecting now with those in the spirit world. Let your journey take you where it will for the next 10 minutes, and I'll call you back after that. Enjoy this time. Slowly, slowly, slowly beginning to come back. As you come to completion with the journey, offering gratitude to whomever, whatever, wherever you received insight or information. And before we share, before we come back into the mental and the verbal, I'd like you to just keep your attention in the physical body, or if it's comfortable, bring it back into the physical body. Start with the bones. Can you imagine your bones? Can you sense your bones? What does that mean? What does that feel like? Where do you notice or maybe not notice the skull or the ribs? Notice your bones. Imagine connecting with the bones, which some say are the energy, the material of the earth. And imagine the organs which are protected by the bones, the brain under the skull, the heart and lungs, the stomach, the organs protected by the ribs, by the pelvis, or the bones that allow you to move forward into life, articulating through the legs and feet, arms and hands. Gratitude for the bones and the organs they protect. And the fluids that run through your body. And the nerves, the information that's transmitted through your body. This amazing human body suit. Costume or vehicle for spirit. Perhaps it's one of the same. Body coming back together, all the pieces, all the parts, bringing your awareness back into the body. And notice the breath flowing. From where does the breath come and where does it go as it flows through you? And what insights did you gain in this short journey? What information can you use or explore into? What would you like to share with the group for just a few moments now as we come back together? And when you're ready, please feel free to unmute and share. Yawning is a sign that you're busy, that you're resting. It's good. Yawning is good. And if you don't want to use words, that's okay too.
For me, I had this morning sense that to sit with what I call my female board of directors, and they seem to have something up their sleeve, and so that's what I spent my time doing, asking questions and listening. So thank you for the time, Sharon.
Thank you. And it just hit me right now that it may be appropriate to not share and stay in the space you're in, but I leave it to Annie. And Sue has unmuted, so we'll continue sharing.
It was just extremely peaceful and quiet, and the consciousness was different. What I'm finding is recently that there's just new awarenesses and new levels of consciousness I'm becoming aware of. And so what I got was that when I've asked the person who knows, my ears are plugged with wax and has been most of this year, and no one can get the wax out, and I can't get the wax out, and none of the drops have worked. So I've asked for whatever the issue is, just reveal it so I can address it and move through it. And there's an expert who can remove the wax, but she canceled. Now I had to wait another 3 months. But what came today was in my meditation, ask for the expert, not the person who just knows about the issue. Ask for the expert to address the issue of my ears and to correct whatever the issue is. But somehow, if I ask for the expert, I seem to have more confidence in who I'm asking to take on this project. So the more specific I can be, apparently, works better for me to trust. So I found that interesting. Thank you.
Can I say something about taking the wax out? Okay.
Sure.
My mother had that problem, and once I brought her to the emergency for something else, and we had missed the appointment with the doctor that was going to remove the wax. And the nurse said that what she did to her baby is that she put the oil. You have to put some oil in the ear before you push the water in, And she used some oil that is contained into orange pills taken to remove constipation. You knew that?
Yeah, I did that. Thank you. I did that already.
Okay.
Made a terrible mess of my ear.
It doesn't take much oil, just warm sesame oil, just rub your finger in the oil and rub it around again and again and again. It may help. But anyway, who else would like to share their experience? Any messages? Deborah?
It was just fun because I expected the female relatives to show up, and it was my male relatives. They showed up, and we had a nice chat. It was good. Thank you.
So I connected with my spirit guides, which are often bald eagles. And I saw myself flying up high with them, and it kind of connects a little bit to what Deborah said, because so much right now is for me about the female, what's the word I want, energies. But I saw myself, so when eagles mate, they are up in the air and they connect their talons and they tumble through the air together. But it wasn't about mating. What it was I've been searching for my soulmate. I want my mate for life. And so I was shown, and then the eagles separated and landed in a tree together. And they talk to each other. And so I was just shown that. I know I have my mate for life somewhere. So the spirit guides really kind of communicated that through the eagles, which often teach me. So thank you. It was beautiful. It was very hard to come back. Boy, it was so hard to come back. I just was up there in the sky and I was an eagle, and you know, their bones are hollow. So when we came back and connected with your bone, I'm like, but they're so light and they're hollow. But yeah, thank you for that guided treat we had.
Angelique, did you share?
Yeah, well, my grandmother came to me, and that's the one where I'm named. She's also called Angelique. And she came to me, and it's the first time she really manifested this way. And she had a beautiful, beautiful message, personal message, which I won't share. But thank you. It was really nice. Really lovely to see her. Actually, she died at the age I will become in May. So, yeah, wonderful. As is my father, who is coming lately, and also he was just 72, and I will become 72 in May. So they're around me.
So we don't know how long the Zoom connection will last, but we can continue sharing until, and then I have just a few words to bring it to an end from Joan Halifax, if and when we get there. Anything else to share? Well, why don't I read these words and we can bring it to a close. So from Joan Halifax, just a reminder that life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes quickly and opportunity is lost. Let us awaken, awaken. Do not squander your life. And that's her message. I invite you to take it with you and have a beautiful rest of your day or night. And if there's anything else to say, go ahead, and otherwise we'll bring it to a close. Thank you all for being here.
Sharon, would you like to put that message on the email, please?
Yes, I will email it I'll email it to Sharon and she can send it out. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and thank you for your beautiful, beautiful guidance. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, because you are all here. Thank you. Yeah,
Before
Robin.
we sign off, Sharon, I'd like to connect with you and maybe do some work with you. How do I, so yeah.
With
how do
Sharon
I,
Alexander or Sharon, our big Sharon?
Sharon Ragey. Sharon Ragey Maynard.
Yes.
I contact Robin, okay?
Say what?
I'll send you a contact.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
It's beautiful. Thanks, everyone.
Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Sharon.
Goodbye, all. Take care
you.
and
Bye.
have a
Bless-
great week.
Thanks.
Blessings.